Howdy do, fella kids. It is the professional Dillweed here, and welcome back to another video. And today I am doing a first ride on the 2021 Honda Rebel 1100. And this video wouldn't be possible without Freedom Power Sports up here in Canton, Georgia. They're your go-to dealership for just about anything. They have some really nice people and a really nice inventory, including this here Honda Rebel 1100. But if you guys are in the area, or if you're not, be sure you come check them out. And be sure to tell them I sent you. So riding this will actually complete me have ridden the entire Honda Rebel lineup. My first bike was the Honda Rebel 300. I rode the Honda Rebel 500 a few videos back. And now it's time to complete the lineup, well, at least with the modern Honda Rebels, with the 1100. And you might have noticed, either by it missing a clutch lever, or maybe you went as far as reading the title, that this is actually the dual clutch model. But I actually rode the Africa Twin 1100 in one of my most recent videos, and that one was a manual. But they are pretty separate and different bikes, because this only having 86 horsepower, and while the Africa Twin has 101 horsepower. But it is still the same platform, the same 1100 engine for the most part. But there's still a bunch of different stuff like cams and other minor stuff with the engine, but for the most part it's the same engine. And as for this color goes, they say that it's red, but it gives me more of a purple vibe. But anyway, I actually do enjoy this here red. I forgot the exact word they call it, but it's this. But I think it's closer to like a plum, maybe? I don't know. What do I know about knowing things? Alright, and with all that out of the way, let's hop on this thing. Let's get her cranked up. The key is down here because, well, that's for whatever reason, that's where cruisers like to put their keyhole. But anyway, let's get her cranked up. It does have a nice meaty sound to it. I don't think that sound completely comes through on this microphone, but it has a really nice, deep, throaty sound to it. Alright, let's get these mirrors adjusted so I can see who's losing. Alright, and we are good. I just tried to grab for an imaginary clutch lever. I feel like that's going to be a common theme in today's video, but all you gotta do is just here press this D button and you're good to go. I do find it, especially with the dual clutch, it's kind of hard to creep around in parking lots, just because you gotta find the grabbing point. as to where the clutch is, because like I guess around in parking lots it feels a little jerky if you don't know what you're doing quite yet. And there I was reaching for an imaginary clutch lever. Once again, hello there, Mr. Police Officer. All right, let's see. This is about the steepest turn that I have on my test ride route. So it's the only real way I can see it's handling it. It's actually pretty good. But for a cruiser, it feels really nice and agile, especially for its weight, just a little over 500 pounds for the dual clutch model. But as far as specs go, this has a 1084 cc P-twin that cranks out about 86 horsepower and just around 72 pound-feet of torque, which are some healthy numbers. And from what I've been told, if you hammer on it around 20 miles an hour in second gear, it will stand up on you. But that's not something that we're going to be attempting today. I'll say the one thing that is nice about the dual clutch models, well, just in general, is whenever you come to a stoplight, just put your foot on the rear brake. You don't got to worry about putting it in neutral or anything. And then whenever the light turns green, I said whenever the light turns green, there we go. Then all you got to do is just take your foot off the brake and you can hammer on it. The shifts are really nice and crisp. Well, because it is in fact a dual clutch transmission, so that is going to be a thing. But I wouldn't say they're as crisp as, say, like a Huracan, because I have in fact driven one of those. Oh yeah, it's got some good power, but you're still not going to get Huracan performance from a $10,000 motorcycle. But as far as top speed goes, I'm sure you already know this, these are electronically limited just around 100 miles an hour, which kind of sucks because, well, its cousin, the Africa Twin, has a top speed of 140, and that's like an off-road touring bike. And well, this is a cruiser. You'd think that they would at least give you some more room to play with. But well, they don't. But then you might be like, well, it's not a sports bike. It doesn't need to go 140. Well, I could say the same thing about the Africa Twin. It doesn't need to go 140 miles an hour, but yet it can. But Honda does kind of like to nerf some of their vehicles as far as performance goes, and that goes not only for their motorcycles but some of their cars as well. A quick ECU flash, you'll be able to go over 100 miles an hour. You may even be able to do the 140 miles an hour that the Africa Twin can. But even back on that original pull, I was only doing, I think, 80 miles an hour, and it started to feel a little bit light. Yeah, around 80 miles an hour, I can start to feel the front end get just a little bit light. But this thing feels more happy around 65 to 70 miles an hour just cruising around. Oh boy, can I make this? We're certainly gonna try. Thank you, Mr. Porsche, for pulling so far out. I did think I just heard that Mustang, like, grind gears or something. Mustang drivers, am I right? But even just cruising around on places that isn't the highway, this thing feels incredibly smooth and comfortable. If you do, in fact, want to shift gears yourself, you got plus and minus over here on this side, and if you do me a favor, just ignore that voice crack that happened just a second ago. You go down. And then even with these, I don't want to call them paddle shifts, but they're essentially paddle shifters. They are really nice and crisp. It's pretty instant. Alright, I didn't really come to too many stoplights, but one thing I did want to say is I'm not necessarily the tallest guy ever, but I can flat foot this on both sides. Well, that's obviously not something I could say with the Africa Twin, because, well, that thing's massive. But I'm not a massive guy coming in around 5'10" on a warm day. One thing I'm not too entirely sure of is, why does an 1100 still only have a single front disc? I think it deserves at least a dual front, right? So, who exactly is this bike marketed towards? I'm going to say it's either for the wife of someone who rides motorcycles and she isn't just exactly all that willing to learn how to learn a clutch, or if you're just fed up with clutches just entirely and having to put up with it in traffic, because this would be a really good bike. I'm going to say if you commute every day, but then your commute also gets you stuck in traffic, then a clutch can get just a little bit tiresome. This would actually mitigate that fatigue there in your left hand. So this would be a good viable option if that's the circumstance you're in. But other than that, I quite like shifting and motorcycles with clutches. But hear me out. Like I said just a little bit earlier, it's kind of hard to creep in traffic and around parking lots with the dual clutch, because you're kind of trying to find the biting point, I suppose. But I guess after you ride it for a while, you tend to get a feel for it. But as for someone who hasn't had much seat time on a dual clutch motorcycle, I've only ridden the Goldwing dual clutch, and well, now this, and it just feels like roughly the same thing as far as creeping around parking lots and whatnot. But once you get out on the road, it's really nice and smooth. Alright, so if you guys have any other suggestions as to what you want to see me ride next, be sure you leave a comment below and I will try my best to get my hands on one. Alright, so with that being said, that is where I'm going to start wrapping up today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure you show some support by dropping a like. If you're new around here, consider hitting that subscribe button. And most importantly, be sure you hit that booty. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.